Hi, my name is Erika, Manita from Brazil, and you are watching my knitting podcast. Yes, folks, I'm finally making an official podcast episode, a traditional podcast episode. It will be brief. I intentionally let to film in the end of the day, so I would have little light and I would have to make it brief because I have a lot of things to talk about. And in the same way, I have a tendency to babble, to, as the younger people say, yap a lot of things. So let's make my life and your life easy by talking briefly, because otherwise I will be without the light. Today, as I said, will be a traditional podcast episode. We will talk about one finished object, which I will only show whips, then acquisitions. I have only one and don't think this will be a constant because I not so often buy yarn. Then I will talk some other announcements and swatches and future projects, this kind of thing. Well, let's go then. I have one finished object, so I will only show you because I already talked to you about this project in my every vintage knit I ever knitted. If you want to hear about it, it's all in that video, but I'm including it here, showing it here for you because it was my first finished object of the year, so it deserves its time to shine. Now I have the other two whips that both came from 2024 and they are very advanced. I think I will start by this one, which I haven't touched very much, the Hobbiton Vest Junior. If you saw my previous videos, you saw that I only had like this much. Now the front is finished. I placed it in the same stitch holder and the back is in its way to be finished and joined to the front with a 3-needle bind off. I still need to make 33 rows here and I already have knitted one of these, so I know that when I finish the body I will pick up stitches for the armholes and then the neckline with the fake button bands and replace the buttons, and it will be ready. It's 1 week's work or less probably. If I dedicate myself to it, very much less. My second whip, and the one in which I have been working the most, is my Eowyn blouse. This is the top I have wanted to knit since ever, I think, and I bought it very early in my knitting journey, and I am finally knitting it in this lovely wool yarn, knitting for olive merino in the colorway petroleum green. And you see, it's a bottom-up raglan, which is a very weird construction, honestly. I have knitted 14 bottom-up garments, I guess, and 8 top-down, so I have knitted more bottom up than top down. I have knit another bottom up raglan, also from Fabel Knitwear, the sugar plum sweater pullover, which I loved. I hated the process of knitting it, but I want to knit another because I have worn it so much. It's such a beautiful garment and it's so versatile. I worn it numerous times last year. I don't love this construction because honestly, if you are going to knit bottom up, knit it flat. Knit it flat. You know how you do this? You knit the body, then you knit the tiny sleeves, see, until here in the armhole. It has waist shaping here. Then you join everything and you start to make this raglan line. You can see mine is not perfect because here you have the crease and I had to slip the stitch. The pattern doesn't say if you have to slip it purl wise or knit wise, and I didn't keep consistency. This is much neater, you can see. And some people have added one stitch between the rag in their projects because they don't like the fact that it gapes a little if you pull. It happens too in the sugar plum. I think the only advantage to this is that you are knitting in the round. You won't have to purl for most of this. Now I have to purl because when we cast off this neckline we have to continue flat. And I'm at the point that we will make here some increases for puff sleeves in the two sides and pretty much I think finish. And then I will pick up for the neckline and pick up some stitches here to make the ruffle. I love the yarn. In the beginning I didn't like it so much. The ribbon was a little hard to knit, but now I really love it and it's soft. I have managed to try it on, even though it's not the best experience, but everything fits. So great. I wasn't very sure, but it looks very nice. I wanted to make this episode today not only to show it ongoing, but also because I have so many other things to talk about. Then I didn't wait to finish this to show you. One sad thing about this yarn is, if I have to tell you something, do not say your precious fibers because, well, I don't buy wool very often. I bought this yarn in a sale by Knitting for Olive in which they would ship without the shipping cost. So it was affordable, even more affordable than buying wool here. And then I stored and I kept a long while waiting for the perfect moment to knit it and moth to it before. I was so sad. I had 3 balls This is the third. I have half of the second that I have saved for the neckline and the ruffles. And well, they got to the first. They got to the first before me, and then they cut through it. So I had to mend a lot here inside. See, I have some of this. I have felted some ends together. The others I couldn't, so I tied, and I will have to hide it. I wouldn't throw it away, even though I know that insect damage is very bad. This gave me a little problem because the tied bits were in what was supposed to be the front of the garment. So what did I do? I transferred the front of the garment to the other side, which thus made so that when I started to make the raglan flat, my raglan increases fell in the purl round. Not the best experience, but also you won't notice the difference here in what was purled until here. It was in knitting, and then from here up I had to start purling the decreases. It looks the same. It's very instinctive. If you haven't ever knitted Fabel Knitwear's patterns, they are pretty great designs, but the patterns do not hold your hand. Not at all. I don't think if this is like a Norwegian style, maybe, and they don't hold your hand. You have to know how to knit, basically, and you have to be able to use your intuition, so to say, and make your own decisions in several parts. I wasn't supposed to make the puff sleeves now. I misread one instruction, and I should have started it at the same time when I cast it off for the neckline. Then I would have the puff sleeves, and then I will knit a little more. Due to the way they are written in English, which is a little bit ambiguous, even though I read the instructions beforehand, as she warned us to do, I interpreted differently, so my puff sleeves will be a little up. That's the only change. I hope it won't spoil the look of the garment, but I think it won't. By the pictures of the other projects, I have noticed that this might have happened with more people. So both of my whips are by Fabel Knitwear. You can see how I really love her work. So let me warn you that she has 2 tests open. If you didn't watch my video about the test call, my testing experience, I tested for her last year. It was very nice, very pleasant. I got 2 beautiful patterns in return. I tested her twice. One of her tests now is due April 20, so see how comfortable a deadline. So if you want to apply, send her an email and talk about your interest, and she might accept you if the spots aren't yet filled. I did not send her an email wanting to test this time, even though there are 2 nice calls, because I have too much on my plate right now. Let's talk then about what else I have on my plate. My temperature blanket. The heat actually reminded me that I had to talk about it. I have mostly keeping up with the project. I missed one day, which was yesterday, so today I will make the 2. But I have took a note of the colors of the temperature, and I brought to show you these 2, which are the ones that I got different. I will post a picture with all of them so you will see better, but you see, this is orange and this is red. In the camera it doesn't show very well, but in real life it shows a little bit better. Most of my days have been like this. This represents like a variation of temperature within 10 degrees. Then this one means that this day was within 5 degrees. You can see a single day like that. This is the only one. This also is the only one, the red one. It means that it was the hottest day of the year so far. It means that it got over 30, over 29, yes. And this one, I had 3 days like this. It's also a bigger variation than 10 degrees, but the green means the lower temperature was lowest. It's lower, like it was 16 degrees, 17 degrees, while the others were all above 20. That's it. I don't have yet my joining yarn, which will make the last row of all of them, nor will I have them so soon, but I'm making them. So if you haven't seen yet, I've released a pattern. I have only translated and modernized a pattern for that antique Victorian bolero from the Art of Knitting by Butterick Publishing, which I knitted in the end of last year, and about which I talked in my video about the vintage knitting. I have made a photo tutorial, I have made minute instructions The vintage pattern is also there, but I have explained it, and the sections that they didn't explain so much, I have expanded on it so that it's pretty clear how you can make your own. If you haven't seen, the pattern is available for free on Ravelry. You actually can pay for it. I have placed a symbolic price of $1, and you can purchase it with 50% discount or for free using the codes that are in the description. I was very happy because the pattern was, let's say, a success, probably because it was a free pattern, so many people add the free patterns to their library. I think over 400 people have downloaded the pattern. A few of these were people who bought the pattern. I think like 10% of the people. If you did, I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful to you, I think. And if you didn't, if you just downloaded it for free, I'm also thankful. And I look forward to see your creations because I really want to see how people will make the pattern. 16 people have added it to their queue. I'm really anxious to see how they will turn up and if my explanations were good enough. The pattern is there in English and Portuguese, my native language. I'm a translator, I couldn't help myself. I'm eager to see what people will make out of it because, as I've mentioned there, the pattern can be knitted with any yarn in any gauge because it's made to measure, and you use your gauge to calculate how much yarn you will need and this kind of thing. So people can make it fluffy, people can make it in bulky weight, in fingering weight, and I'm really looking forward to see that. And also, it's vintage, like everybody knitting Victorian, so nice. So that's it. I will place a link in the description. If you didn't get it yet, you can get it there. Placing that pattern there was kind of also an experiment for me because last year I have kind of accidentally signed up to Craftsy in the promotions they had in the beginning of the year. I signed up for, I think, $2, and I got access to various courses, and I said, well, I might as well watch them. So I did watch. I watched two. One by Faina Goberstein, a Russian-American designer, about resizing knitwear. This one I have watched only the beginning because I wanted to knit the cardigan that she teaches there, but I think I won't be able to, so I think I will watch and take notes, and later I will knit the cardigan that she teaches us to resize there. It's a pretty cute cardigan. And the other was by Eddie Ekman about writing patterns. And I wanted to test if I had learned it correctly what she teaches in the course, because I have my ideas that I want to put into practice. I won't show you today my drawings. I have everything drawn, but I will talk about some. Well, as I said, I'm a translator, I'm a writer, and also I'm artistic in general, so I had 3 big moments of inspiration, maybe 4. In one, I saw some birds pictures, and each of them inspired me for knitwear because I was knitting intensely in that time, and then I looked at them and I thought, oh, this color combo, this color progression will be a nice scarf, this will be such a cute sweater. And I have drawn and recorded, noted down all my ideas to then in the future make this, but I didn't have much experience. Now I am much more of an experienced knitter, not so much as many people, but enough that I could give it a try. Last year I tried to execute another idea, didn't go so well, but I won't talk about it today. Maybe I will talk about it in my everything I knitted in 2024, because this video will come out. The trend probably will have already passed when I post that video, but well, at least it's there. At least I will have a video to show you everything, and then I can refer to that. Like this, for example, I'm wearing also Fabel Knitwear. It's the Hedwig tank. The straps are too short, not the best project due to some mistakes by myself. I will not talk about it today, but I love to wear it at home, so I make good use of it. Oh yeah, my ideas. Let's come back. So my ideas. I was talking that my first ideas were about the birds, and then I had some other ideas. 2 other were inspired by art. One is a crochet dress inspired by the Starry Night by Van Gogh. And then more recently, I had some garments and accessories inspired by the characters of Gogol's Dead Souls, which is a book I really love. I reread it in the latest years. I don't remember exactly which year, but I had read it when I was 15, and I reread it a couple times lately when I was about 30, and I loved the book. I loved the book all again, and the characters are so vivid that each of them inspired me something. One of them inspired me a little hood, and that's why I bought this. This yarn is acrylic and nylon. It's the same brand and the same yarn, Glamour by Fios Pingouin, which I have used for my 2 vintage hats from my vintage video. And I really liked that yarn because it's soft and pleasant. I remember that the place where I got it had, I think, only the blue, some other not nice colors, and this beautiful red. I have that yarn now, but I bought it to use together with this one, which is imitation mohair. I think it's mostly viscose. And I want to make a hood inspired by the character Korobochka, which means box in Russian. And I want to make probably in basket weave or another. I want to make it an interesting combination of shape and stitch, and this according to my interpretation of this character. So this may be my next pattern release, but it won't be for soon because I still want knitting to be a hobby, or primarily a hobby for me. So I will give priority to my own current knits, and this will come in the future. Near future, distant future, who knows. I also have another hat, a little scarf. I have been given so much thoughts to this little scarf. I have researched it. I have researched Russian Victorian patterns and books to try and find the correct shape, the correct configuration for this scarf, but it will come. Maybe close to the middle of the year, which is our winter. And I have other ideas. I was thinking, well, I'm Brazilian, I'm not Russian, even though I'm very close to Russian culture, but I should have something inspired by Brazilian culture too. And then I have the idea for a nice top inspired by a Brazilian painting by Tarsila do Amaral. I might post it here. These are my ideas for future projects, which will not be so close. Now let's go to what will be very close. I have been swatching. I have actually started what should have been the first cast on of 2025, and it technically was, but it didn't work. So sad. I have took it out of the needles. I think I have a picture. I will place a picture here, but my yellow little things, which the camera keeps not showing, I was wrong. Gauge swatch lied to me, and I started it with 5mm, actually with 4 for the neckline, and then I would move to 5 for the body, but the neckline turned out too loose. Then I knew that the body would be too loose too. I think I just started to knit looser now. I have always knitted tightly, but I think I don't anymore. I have been getting engaged with the recommended needles, so I will try the recommended needles in that one. And I haven't started yet because going down I would have to use the ones that are here. I have other 5mm, but these are my favorites. These ones, the other day I might talk about my supplies. These are fixed circulars. I bought them from China, and they surprised me with how good quality they are. Actually, they are my favorite. It's a set, not together. They come each in their individual packages, but they are a set with very weird numbering, but they work marvelously. They are my favorite. Metal needles, circular fixed. I much prefer them to interchangeable needles. Even though I have them, I have some, and they are nice too. I got them from my boyfriend. Some of them are here. I cast on this today. It's another swatch. It's for my vintage cardigan. I swatched earlier today with a 4mm, and it was huge. But the recommended size was 325, and I found out that in the set that my boyfriend gave me, they have American sizing. So they have 325mm, which you don't find here to buy. You just don't, because we have 3.5, 4.5. We go by 0.5mm basically. So I have the perfect needles, the 3 and 25, and I think this looks promising. I have measured it. I will continue and make a decent swatch, and I will measure it, but I think I got gauge. Look how tiny are the needles for the ribbon. This is 275mm. The pattern is lovely. I have talked more about it in my summer knitting plans. It was my only not summer garment, and I wasn't able yet to start summer garments for me. I have swatched for other. I have swatched with this yarn, this black yarn, which I was going to make the other vintage pattern. At first I held it double, but then I saw that it was a different thickness of cotton thread than the cotton thread recommended in the pattern. It's kind of 3 times the size, the thickness. So I held it single, thread held single in a biggish needle, but the pattern is a slip stitch pattern in which you knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, and in the other row you do the same but in the other stitches. So you advance very slowly, not very slowly. I swatched it in 2 needles. Just from swatching, I noticed I don't want to knit it, at least now, maybe never, because I don't want to torture myself. I'm in knitting to have fun, and this won't be fun, at least now. And why was I swatching for vintage patterns? Because I will participate in a call that starts tomorrow. I'm filming January 17. The call starts tomorrow. I have posted about it in my group on Ravelry, the vintage database. It's not our call, it's from a group in Facebook named the 1920s to 1980s all craft. It's a call with prizes. Actually, it's a make along, so you can sew, you can crochet, you can do many things. But the theme is 40s, and this pattern, both of these patterns were from the 40s. I think I will use this to crochet, and maybe I will buy yarn in the recommended thickness, because I found some, Sterlina is the name, that are in the same thickness of the pattern. So maybe in the future I will buy that to make this pattern, but I'm not even sure that I will make it. And I will use it probably to crochet. Well, I had to pick my pattern for the call. I'm talking it to you today, and I won't post obviously today, but you will also be able to take part, because you only have to have cast done after tomorrow and finish the project until May 8th, I believe. So you will have a lot of time. There is a video I already want to make about vintage jumpers, and I think I will make it so I can give you inspiration to pick something for this call, because it will have prizes donated by Bex the Subversive Femme, and it's a coupon code to her site, which has very nice vintage patterns there. So yeah, I will knit the cardigan. So this is my next cast on. I will finish this today if I can, and I will cast on tomorrow as it's meant to be with this yarn. There will be a video about this yarn too. I'm collecting pieces to make it in the end, because this was unraveled. And I think this is almost everything I have to talk to you about today, except that I had an idea for this yarn, and I think I will get a little bit of the money I got from my last pattern, and I will go to the shop where I found it and see if there are 1 or 2 more skins, because then I might be able to knit a ranunculus. And I've been wanting to knit a ranunculus for a long while. I specifically like the ones that are more fitted, so I will follow the people who made modifications to make it more fitted, and also with a little bit thicker yarn. I don't like the lace weight ones, the fingering weight. I don't like them too drapey. I like them with a little bit of structure, so I like the sport decay weight. Even though I'm not very fond of decay weight summer garments like this one, they can get thick. This one doesn't, because it's a crop top. They take long to dry. They are sometimes too hot to wear in the winter. So I think sport weight is a optimal choice, and it's cotton viscose, so it should drape beautifully and be a perfect fiber for the ranunculus. Then I also remembered that when I was thinking about which color I wanted to make my ranunculus, I thought about purple, because I went to research with which colors this flower appears in nature, and purple was one of them, and I chose purple, so it's kind of perfect. If I can find more of this, I will knit that. If I can't, I will knit something else. Well, and that's already a lot. I hope you had fun. I hope you have knitted or crocheted something while you were watching me, or not, maybe doing chores or homework or whatever. So I think that's it for now, but I will come back soon. I won't say that I will post more than 1 podcast episode per month, because it will depend on how much I need and the speed in which I edit and film those videos, and the work I will get, and many other questions. But I think I will post 1 podcast episode per month, and maybe other videos scattered around. My next one should be those everything I needed in 2024 and before 2024. And I also want to make some pattern roundups, some videos about what I have learned in my knitting experience. Would you like a knitting chat? Because you are very little by now, but I appreciate all of you, so I want to hear you. Would you like knitting chat? What do you want us to chat about? This kind of thing. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.